All right, YouTube, you're first. We're coming with you in just a minute. We were just having such a great time on our pre-show. Wouldn't you like to know what we were laughing about? Choo choo stew. Anyway, here we go.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place where I can get a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on hot?
Mr. Clement, what else you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a power play goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Cave Crew Radio. Indeed, it is. Cave Crew Radio. Welcome to the cave, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great night, Thursday, August 10th. I haven't even told anybody yet, but this is my idea. Next week is episode 30, so that should end this season. We should start anew again, if, of course, everybody wants to do it. Anyway, live from my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. My name is DK. And as I said, you're listening to Cave Crew Radio. I do believe I have Queens, New York on the line.
You certainly do. Live from Queens, New York, I am Sir Big B. And I am now perplexed about what your idea is for next week's show. You kind of said you had an idea for the show number 30 and then said, hi, I'm here. So I'm very curious now. Is it going to be a secret, as you always do with me? Keep everything a secret and surprise me.
Everything's going to be a secret. And you know what? You just threw cinder blocks on my shoulders because I was just thinking ending the season and
okay.
Big surprises coming up afterwards. But within a week, perhaps some of our friends could help us out. Maybe like the guy that's sitting to your left.
The guy that's sitting to my left.
The guy from Ohio. Don't bet on the other fucker. He's...
yeah, well, I know for sure I don't hear London calling, but I think I hear some faint cries for help from Ohio.
How's it going, guys?
Jason, you're almost a regular. We're going to have to give you a nickname and a title very soon.
I'd like that. People are going to have to start remembering that if I come on the show one week, I'm going to be back the next. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It depends who you are, I suppose.
And the next after that, and the next after that, and yet we are not on. We don't have cookies.
Well, yeah, we were discussing that, folks, and for a small donation, we'll share you all our pre-show tapes. But aside from that, we'll let you out on this little tidbit. Jason has now been on. Is this 4?
Yeah, this is the 4th.
4 times Jason has been on Cave Crew Radio, and not once has he asked, well, wait a minute. He did have the junior intern on, and I think junior intern has a segment.
Yeah.
And if he's collecting any money from you, he owes Brian and I royalties because we created him.
His segment actually got extended editions of the show too. So it moved from just a segment to its own show.
Look at this.
You guys can't do that. I endorse Podcast Train because it sucked. I'm just kidding, Stu. It's a great show. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm just teasing. In all fairness, though, Big B, Jason does give us shout outs quite a bit on the show. You were talking a bit about bag milk and Mrs. Mama Kate running around in the dark. So we got a little airtime with Jason.
Yes, I was hoping Mama Kate would be on, but not doing the whole Blair Witch snot running out of the nose scene.
Well,
I was hoping there would be light and, we could see her on camera and not just, her nostrils.
If you want the answer, Big B, you've got to go and listen to We Don't Have Cookies, which I think we're all starting to be affiliated now.
I was thinking about that the other day. There's cities that have sister cities. Mm-hmm. We are brother broadcasts.
And we talk about you when you're not here. Wouldn't you love to know? But we all kind of promote each other's shows, and it's like it's its own little advertising bit that's going on.
That's true.
And I still drink milk out of a bag, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new here, you've got to go listen to We Don't Have Cookies, episode 2, right, of season 2.
Yeah.
And then last week's Cave Crew Radio, and you'll catch up. It's a live show every week. We talk about different stuff, but believe it or not, we're kind of like a soap opera.
Wait, who's Susan Lucci?
Susan Lucci is calling you.
No, you said we're a soap opera. I want to know who's playing the part of Susan Lucci.
Well, no, listen, I'm not doing sound effects, so I don't know if that's Jason Marshall or
no, it's not mine.
Someone's got it. It doesn't even sound like it. Sounds like one of those toy phones.
Is it Stu?
It really does, and it's got to be Stu.
Yeah.
Do the doorbell from A Clockwork Orange, where the guy gets paralyzed and the woman, the wife gets raped. Do that doorbell.
Yeah,
that's almost it.
I bet you Stu went to a garbage dump. I bet you went to a garbage dump. Not right now.
This is London calling.
We heard you.
Thank God for that.
Is that really Stu, or is that a sound effect too?
Oh no! That honest to God, can you say something else, Stu, that I will not project? Watch, my mouth is moving on camera, but it'll be Stu.
This is London calling.
See? Stu, you're awake.
Yeah, just about. I haven't got me. I've had to reset my other computer with the camera on it, so I'm cameraless at the moment. Good evening, gentlemen.
And big happy birthday to
what I'm quite surprised about. Jason's been on the show several times, and there's been no mention of him being made any kind of intern yet.
Well, yeah, but intern kind of is so 2016. What else could we come up with? Let's all brainstorm. We don't have to do it right at this moment. But I agree. Jason needs a title and he needs a nickname.
I like it.
So, call him Cookie Monster if you want to get a reason. I really don't care. But anyway, so tonight, guys, we're gonna have some fun. We got some pretty cool stories to run by everybody. Unbeknownst to probably not too many people, we do have an emergency session of the High Court of Urine Stench Alley, which maybe at that point we could introduce a title upon Sir Honorable Jason Marshall. But that'll be coming up in a little bit. Big D, do you have your neighborhood queued up?
I do.
Okay, not yet. Because Big B, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
We always have to have a little bit of intro music. So just tell us why we're doing this.
So I belong to a neighborhood group on Facebook. It's called the Glendale Civic Association. And it's all people who live in the neighborhood and like, watch out here. There's some construction going on, or there's an accident over here. Don't go over there. Stuff like that. People try to, there's a couple of real estate agents. Hey, call me if you want to sell, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What there also is some really dumb people that post really stupid asinine things. And I've collected a few of them for everybody tonight to discuss, if you will.
And you have motivated me so much. I want to go to the group as well, the Cave Crew Facebook group, and everyone that listens. Start to do this yourself as well. Anything that you see as an odd post on Facebook, Twitter, email, you don't have to give out any names. Send them to us at cavecrewradio@gmail.com. And the other thing I did is I have a few pictures to add at the end that I have snapped. Just kind of give a visual to it as well. But let us in on some of this now.
Okay, so this was in no particular order that I sent this, so I'm just going to read it top to bottom. The first one comes as somebody looking for a recommendation. And you all know how I like recommendations on the internet.
Right. But it's very common. Very common.
It says Spanish food takeout. 1, good food. 2, cheap. 3, delivery. That's all it said. Now, my number one problem with recommendations on the internet is you're on the internet.
Anyone, I could Google Taiwan right now and recommend a good restaurant.
Exactly. Especially with restaurants, because there's things like Yelp where, you can just go to Yelp and type in, what is a Spanish food Glendale. My neighborhood is Glendale. So Spanish food Glendale. A bunch of shit will come up on Yelp. But no, this guy wants to go to the Facebook page and say, hey, give me a recommendation. Why? Go fucking figure it out yourself, you lazy prick.
Or talk to really trustworthy friends. Now, right. Mind you, most of my trustworthy friends are here. So if I was going to New York or London or Ohio, I would talk to you guys.
Right. But we would do it in private conversation, not on a neighborhood. We wouldn't do it on the Cave Crew radio page. We would do it in private conversation.
We would. Yeah. You're, but now, was this a poll or was it that just what he wanted?
This is what he wanted. This was not a poll. This was what he wanted.
And the 3 things again were good food. Which
it was looking for a recommendation for Spanish food takeout.
Right.
Number 1, good food. Number 2, cheap, and number 3, delivery.
Okay, so number 1, good food.
Yeah.
You might get number 2, but I doubt it.
Cheap.
At the end, did he put go at the end?
He didn't. That was the only thing that was missing.
Go.
I fucking hate when people do the recommendations for Spanish food in this neighborhood. Go.
That's gonna be
yourself. That's what go is. You fucking asshole. You lazy prick. You're on the internet. Look it up yourself.
Now, Jason, you live like in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. So what would you do if you wanted Spanish food? Just cook it or?
Pretty much.
They're so laid back in Ohio. I've got to move to Ohio. Jason never gets riled up.
It takes me about 10, 15 minutes just to get into town.
Jesus
it would be quicker to just cook it.
Have you ever driven into town and played that Queen song, bada boom, bada boom? And the whole family kind of sings it on the way into town on Sunday?
No, I haven't done that. But somebody did bring it to my attention that you live out in the country when you refer to going to the store as going into town.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas we here in the city, we walk to the corner. You drive into town.
Yeah.
Anyway, next on the Glendale Civic Group agenda. This is replacing the allotment this week, folks.
Yes, the next one Again, these are just random posts by people on the Glendale Civic Association Facebook page. Does anyone know where I can have something faxed?
Who faxes anymore?
What fucking year do we live in? Holy shit.
I bet you Stu has a fax machine in that fucking white room.
Because Stu picked up at somebody's garbage. People don't fax anymore. They throw their fax machines away. Stu went and got it, and fucking he's trying to figure out how to use it in the allotment. But anyway, even if you do have to fax something, Staples,
yes,
Kinko's,
have no
these are known things.
Yeah, Radio Shack. Probably even a good place to do it would be your local library.
Probably.
And back to your point, you're already on the internet. It just looks like typing in free fax Glendale would save you a lot more time.
well, not for nothing. You're already on the internet. You could just email a PDF. There's really no need to fax things anymore.
Next on the agenda, we're holding the Glendale City Council local podcast tonight. Cave Crew will return next week. Over to Glendale.
The next one is the one I read that when I first messaged you guys and saying how dumb people are, and really led me to filing this. This was posted the other day. If I'm parked on the side of St. Pancras that says no parking during school hours 7 to 4, does it take effect during the summer?
You know what, though? I got to plead the fifth. Is that a year-round thing or just during school?
It says no parking during school hours 7 to 4. During school hours 7 to 4. Does it take effect during the summer? Is there school during the summer? I know there's summer school, but those are in high schools.
Could you imagine how big that fucking sign must be?
Well, it's just a normal sign. It's just like any other street sign, a no parking street sign that says no parking, school out, Monday to Friday, 7 to 4 during school, school days.
Now, just to carry this a little bit further, was there any comments on any of these?
Yes, there was. I didn't look through the comments because a lot of times on this, the comments are actually people trying to help these fools. So they're like, oh well, of course you're not going to have to park. You can park there during the summer because during the summer there's no, and I just want to go on and destroy you. Say, you dumb fucking bitch. Is there school during the summer at this school? No, there's not. You fucking idiot. Of course you can park there. It's not during school hours.
Okay, let's skip to the car that drove accidentally and then the car wash. Let's do those two before we move on.
Okay. Okay, so the next one is I want to do the hospital one too.
Oh, yeah, okay, you can do that.
I'll do that one last.
You got 10 minutes before we go to break here. This again, folks, we interrupt Cave Crew Radio tonight for the Glendale Civic Group conversation.
Okay. The next one. A car accidentally drove into my garage, damaging the door. It's a bit dented inward and off the tracks towards the bottom. Can anyone recommend someone who can fix the door at a reasonable price? A car. He doesn't say he drove into his garage. A car. Now, is this some random car that drove down his driveway into his garage and then backed out and went away?
Or was it old man Bertatoli across the street?
Was it, he's not saying he drove into his garage. He's saying a car. So to me, that's a random car drove into his garage door. Now, if most garages in this area are in the back of the house. So that means somebody would have to physically turn their car left or right, down into the driveway, hit the door, back out of the driveway, and drive away. Now, if it's on the street side, somebody would still have to turn left or right, go onto the sidewalk, and hit the door, then back out and then leave.
I have I think it might have been you that posted that. You want to know why?
Why?
Because in brackets with stars across, like getting our attention. And what is Big B's most common line whenever we talk about anything? I have a lot of questions.
Yes, I wrote that.
About what?
I wrote that after after I copied and pasted the post.
Okay, because that gave away you in a heartbeat.
Oh, of course, yes. That's why I posted it, because I have questions. Was this a random car? Where was the garage? Is it in the back of your house? Is it on the sidewalk? Where is how does this physically happen that you have no idea what car drove into your garage?
Do you have house insurance?
And if why aren't you, if you know the car that drove into your garage, why aren't you making them pay?
And if you don't know, why are you not calling the police instead of bringing this up in the Glendale Civic Group Facebook?
Exactly. If you don't know who this is, a crime has been committed.
In the Glendale Civic Group. Next one, please.
Sticking in the realm of automobiles. Does anyone know of a place where I can wash my car myself? I know there are some in Long Island, but I want something closer. Please don't say in front of my house.
Well, now I don't know. You're in a very congested city, as is Stu, but Jason might know. Like in my area, there's about 3 within a 10-minute drive where you go and you put like quarters. I imagine they're loonies now, because I wash mine in front of my house. But where you put it in, you get the spray gun and you do it yourself. I think
is that not in a petrol station?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're everywhere, aren't they?
Well,
they're not in Queens.
Here's my thing. Why are you going to pay to go wash your car yourself when you can do it in front of your house? And if you're not parked in front of your house, like not obviously living in the congested area, like you said, not every house has a driveway where you could park. So it's just like row houses. So, if you're parked like, up the block or something a little while later, I've seen people do it where they take a bucket from their house filled with soapy water, walk down to their car and wash their car.
I've done that myself. Yes.
Yeah. You don't have to be parked in front of your house to wash your car, and you're doing it for free. Why the fuck are you going to go pay for it? You're going to pay somebody else to give you a space to wash your car when you're parked in a space for free that you could go wash your car for.
Listen, unless there's babes in bikinis from the local youth group at the church, then you pay $5.
Right. Other than that, wash it in front of your house.
Why didn't he want to wash it in front of his house? That's the other thing.
I have no idea.
Maybe he's got a really expensive driveway and he didn't want to stain the new bricks or something.
It's soap and water.
Stu cleans his car like twice, 3-4 times a week.
Oh, Doug, once every couple of weeks.
Oh, bullshit. I can swear to God, twice a week or 3 times a week, you're telling me I'm just cleaning the car. It's a mess.
Oh, no, I do like to keep it clean, I must admit. And when I do it, it takes me about 3 hours.
Wow.
I've got an OCD on it.
10 minutes.
If my wife's let the dog in there, it can take me an hour to hoover the inside out.
Now, the one thing I'll go and pay for is those shop backs they have at those car washes, because those are good. You put in 50 cents and you vacuum the inside, and they're really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, where we have by our gas stations, we got the air pump where you can inflate your tires, and next to it you have the vacuum.
Yes.
So you could go inflate your tires and vacuum out your trunk or whatever whatever you want. We have that.
Welcome to the free world. Yes,
right.
I have it too. All right, bonus round before the break, and then we got so much to do. There's good stories too, but there's so many things we got to get to. Bonus story, I hurt my wrist.
So the final one for tonight is I hurt my wrist, but I don't want to go to the hospital. Is there a good first med in the area that does x-rays on site? Now, if you're looking for, you hurt your wrist, you're looking for an x-ray to be taken, which means you think that you may have at least a fracture of your wrist. Why are you on Facebook posting about it and not going directly to a doctor?
Makes a lot of sense.
They had to have committed a crime, right?
They're probably the ones that smashed into the fucking garage.
Yes, they probably smashed into the garage, hurt their wrist, and now they're asking for a place where they could go to a first med, like a fucking little cheap fucking clinic.
Wow.
I want to end this on a note that, folks, I am encouraging you. Anything you see on Facebook doesn't have to be from a particular group, but lots of you are in groups that we're not involved in, especially local groups. If you see something, send it to us at cavecrewradio@gmail.com, or if you're bold enough, just post it on the Facebook page, Cave Crew Radio, and we will. I have this for you. After Big B got me all motivated, I went out and I wanted to show you the neighborhood woman with the nice garden who is wearing a muumuu.
I was going to ask, is that a sumo wrestler? What?
He's wearing a muumuu. I have not seen a muumuu since my Aunt Barb wore one, like forever. And then the other thing I wanted to show you guys was this. I told Big B about it. I don't think Choo Choo Stu would know, but I know Jason Marshall is a big wrestling fan. We had a post about a week ago, and it was shared by Al Snow. He's actually a member of our group. We have to get him on here.
That's awesome. That's fucking cool.
Like, I have no idea. Well, I think we're all limited to 5,000 friends or whatever. But I went and I looked and I checked, is this the real Al Snow? Because there's lots of, and it is. It's like got one of those blue check marks or whatever. See right by his name. If you look up at the picture, it's got a verified Al Snow check mark. So, folks, we don't make a lot of money. We beg, we plead, we steal. But we have been tweeted. It wasn't tweet. We were re-shared, whatever it is, on Facebook by El Snow.
Nice.
All right, we're going to take a very fast break. Here's what's going to go on. I'm going to share with you a clip from a show a couple weeks ago because I didn't get a song queued up. Couple quick commercials so we can get a fresh beer and whatever we have to do. Coming up after the break, we said we were strictly dealing with the Glendale Civic Group tonight, but Stu has been up to something at the allotment, and as well, we do have an emergency session of the highest court of Urine Stench Alley. You are listening, ladies and gentlemen, to Cave Crew Radio, heard live every Thursday night right here on cavecrewradio.com at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we will be back in a few minutes.
Well, hello, ladies and the gentlemen, and cave dwellers in general. This is Choo Choo Stew, and I'm deep in the hallows of London, England. I want you lot to stop taking a piss and join the Cave Crew Radio Facebook group, please. And while you're at it, look us up on the Twitter as well. It's not rocket science, it's actually quite easy. Just search Cave Crew Radio. Also, have you got a bit of spare change in your wallet or in your bank? Because we could do with $5. It's easy on PayPal. Just go on to cavecrewradio.com and chuck some money in the tip jar. It helps keeping the dream alive, sockcuckers. So don't be silly and take the mic. Cavecrewradio.com. Fuckers.
They just stunk. Like, like they fucking went out and was playing basketball for 3 days and didn't shower and didn't put on deodorant. There was just that sweaty armpit smell, right? So it led me to contemplate what do people think? Like, do they not smell themselves? I mean, you know,
I don't think
do they not have a friend that says, "Dude, put on some deodorant, man"?
Well, it's funny you should say it, because when I walked into work earlier this evening to book on for my duty, I could smell BO, and it was just sort of fresh BO. It wasn't like caked on for weeks. And I thought, and then I went into the restaurant to grab a number 44, and I started smelling myself, because I was thinking, does that smell me? And I was thinking, it can't be. I had like a shower an hour ago, and I wear deodorant. And then I went back in, and it was the manager, and he just, I say it was sort of like a fresh BO, if you get what I mean. But we've got a couple of guys at work that, I mean, one of them, we call him Soapy, because he reeks. He smells like.
Everything is very prim and proper tonight. Stu, I before we go anywhere moving forward, because we'll lose track of things. Well, there is a couple things I want to talk to you about, but there's that big announcement over in England that Charles is being skipped over. Now, this has been speculated for a long time, but Charles will not be the king. It shall be his eldest son.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of us thought that would happen anyway. I haven't even heard that. I haven't really been watching or listening to the news, to be honest with you.
How do I get your news before you do?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard that, but as I say, I haven't really been listening to a lot of news. But
have you been into that? What do you call again? Medical marijuana?
Exactly.
Anyway, carry on. What's the feeling over there about this? Because they're actually explain to us the law in England is everything goes to the son, right? The eldest son.
Yeah, so it's going to be William. Well, it's going to. Charles. It'll go to Charles's son. But the people don't want Charles to be king, do they? And he knows it. Although he's been hanging on there, hasn't he? He's been waiting for it. So I don't know. No, I think the popular guy is William, isn't it?
Well, he's the helicopter pilot and all that shit. But now what do you think Charles is going to do? Something crazy?
Well, what's he going to do?
Kill his son? I don't know. I've watched the Four Musketeers at least 4 times. Like, that's the kind of shit that happens. The Man in the Iron Mask, all that shit happened on your side of the world.
You know what I would like? Oh, sorry, Steve.
No, go on.
What I would like to see is Prince Charles become King Charles, and he hires Scott Baio to be his butler, and they have a reality show, Charles in Charge, UK version.
I was going to ask if Baio fit into this, but okay, that makes sense. And they could hire, what's that guy we confirmed was alive last night? Emmanuel Stewart could be the court jester or something.
Emmanuel Lewis,
sorry, what did I say?
Emmanuel Stewart. I don't know who that is.
I have no idea.
And I don't know where you're getting this news anyway, but as far as I'm aware, Charles will be king.
Now, isn't it like kind of that's the law of the land? Kind of Charles has to be king. They can't skip him over.
They can't skip him, but it's whether Charles is the heir to the throne. He's the next heir to the throne. So if he decides not to take that up, then I would imagine then that it will go to William.
But that has to be his decision, though, right? Like
they
can't just skip him. That has to be his decision.
Yeah. We don't have a vote on it.
Right.
No, but if Queen, what's her name, the old bag there, if she said, I want William to be king, and Charles said no, and he struck his staff on the ground, then Charles could boycott it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come down. I suppose I don't think it's going to come down to boycotting. I think Charles will be the king because that's all he's ever wanted.
Yeah, but Elizabeth's never going to die anyway. She's like 137 years old.
Do you remember Obama went over to visit her and he gave her an iPod with music on it?
Yeah, Obama's such an idiot.
That was the dumbest gift ever.
Asshole.
Like she
have an iPod. You're checking.
It's probably got a downloaded version of the Quran on it. Anyway, so we're going to follow this, Stu, because it might not be a big deal to you guys, but I'm thinking if Charles wants to be king, like, for instance, let me ask you, and you don't have to answer. This is a very personal question, but none of your family is listening. Your wife passes. Obviously, if you pass, your wife gets everything you have. But according to English rule, Oscar will inherit everything you have, not the daughters. Is that correct?
No, that's incorrect.
So you're breaking English law.
No, it's not English law. If you you can make a will out and everything go to your wife. But even saying that, if I did make a will and I left everything to my kids and not my wife, I think she would still have a stakehold in my.
No, move the wife. She's long gone. God bless her soul. I know her birthday is next weekend.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to Mrs. Choo Choo, or Mr. Choo Choo if he's wearing the pink wig. But let's assume she's passed. British tradition, is it not the son, the eldest son? And then if there's 4 daughters in between, the next son would get it if the eldest son wasn't there. Are you following me?
I'm following you, but I don't think they can do. I honestly don't think they can do that. It might have happened years ago, but you can't. How can you do that? You can't. It's not right, is it?
Well, they marry their own eldest son.
Wait, what? Are you talking like incest? What?
No. Not they don't marry the eldest son. They go out and find another eldest son in the village.
What year is this? Wait a minute. What?
You're talking about 200 years ago.
It's like 1635. What are we doing?
Listen, though, Canada, the United States, we change on a bi-yearly basis. You know, now the big thing with us is all this transgender shit. But a country like England is very set in tradition, similar to how, like, if you're in Kathmandu, you would probably have an arranged marriage. All I'm stating is I think tradition, especially with the royal family, would be very hard to break.
Well, I mean, remember Charles and Diana got divorced. That was unheard of before they actually did it.
Yes,
the royal family, you didn't get divorced.
And again, the old church, let's go back, does not recognize divorce. And who would want Queen Camellia or whatever? Fuck, have you ever looked at what? Did you have a good body, Stu? Because her face was certainly nothing. What the fuck was he thinking? He's the king of fucking England. Could have had a Spice Girl, for fuck's sake.
You think to get himself a nice little saucy bit, wouldn't you?
Not Camellia. She is the definition of gorilla cookies.
She's got a lovely personality, though.
If she was a lesbian, her perfect listen. If she was a lesbian, her perfect match would be Chelsea Clinton.
Exactly.
Okay.
We do not want a Queen Camilla in this country. Thank you very much.
You can have a king one way or the other, but
King Willie or King Charles.
Yeah, King Willie. That kind of you can make a song about that, Stu.
Well, if you get William, isn't he's the one that married what's her name?
Yeah, the one with that doesn't wear panties. Yeah, the Kate, the one that doesn't wear panties.
Yeah, I mean she's hot,
very hot.
Well, compared to Camilla, she is.
King Willie is a porn name.
Now, answer me this, Stu. I don't want to get again. We got so much to do here, but so if King Willie is indeed King, Charles waves the wand or the staff, whatever he does, then it would be the firstborn son of Willie that takes the throne after him. And exactly for how many generations after I'm dead are you guys going to have a king and a queen? Because I'm a fucking prime minister. Like, who makes the rules?
I think William's going to be probably about 80 the time he gets crowned.
Well, now I have a question. If William gets crowned king and Charles bypasses, he doesn't want to be king, does Charles remain a prince?
He will be the king's father.
So what is that?
I don't know.
Every time this happens, they got to change their fucking ID.
We had the Queen Mother, didn't we?
Prince Charles, he's got to go to the fucking local London depository there and get a new driver's license, a new health card, all this shit.
Because he's not a prince anymore.
Yeah, he can't write a check as Prince Charles anymore. He's now I am King Father Charlie.
Yeah, it will probably. Do you remember we had the Queen Mother?
Yes.
So he'll be the king's father.
No, but isn't Elizabeth the Queen Mother?
No, great king. That would be the king's grandmother.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying right now. Right now, isn't the Queen Mother Elizabeth?
No, the Queen Mother's dead.
No, the Queen Mother is the queen.
That's what I'm saying. Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, so she's
not
the
Queen Mother.
No definition on her shit. She's still the one that. And Stu, so does that mean Willie? Or does that mean the Willie and the chick that wear no panties get all the jewels?
Yeah, it'll go to them. They run around.
You sign up the crown. You sign off a kingdom that already has a prime minister, and you sign off the jewels that are locked in Big Ben there or wherever they are.
Tower of London, aren't they?
Or London, sorry.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. I don't live there. I just read all this in storybooks, and it's all coming to life now. Peter Pan, Robin Hood, everything is so much better now. I've gone back and reread them all. Harry Potter. Now that I have a real Englishman to help me, I understand. Don't you find that makes the books that much better, Jason?
Yeah. Now that I know Stu, they're so much better.
Dr. Zeus.
It brings Jack the Ripper to life.
It is Jack the Ripper. He's a reincarnation of the motherfucker. All right. Excellent conversations tonight. We'll have to give a political warning. We have been talking about the Glendale Civic Group and the Queen transferring her power over in England. All right. We need to call into session, folks, a very special. I got to get everything set up here. Because what happened was Choo Choo Stu sent us a story. And the producers, everyone involved, did a lot of work, and we're going to bring a picture up in just a second here. But I even made music for this because it's been a long while since we've been in session.
The highest court of Urine Stench Alley is now in session.
All right, everyone has to.
I like how the music turns into a 1980s Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah, best I could find on short notice. I apologize. So here's what's got to happen, Jason. Just take a seat for a minute because this is highly unusual even for us.
Alrighty.
But I'm going to break this down, and I'm going to bring a picture onto the camera here. Choo Choo Stu sent me a story, and it reads like this: a fantasist was found guilty of murdering a man during a sex session. police accused of missing opportunities to catch Jason Marshall, who attacked two men after fleeing London, apparently to Italy. Big B, do you have this story up?
I do not.
Oh, then you can't present your case. Now, there are a few flaws in this story, but we're going to ask Jason about this in a couple minutes. A violent fantasist, which is something I've just heard of, who terrorized a vulnerable gay man in his own home, was Wednesday found guilty of murder amid criticism that police missed opportunities to catch him before he went to kill again. Jason Marshall met 58-year-old Peter Fasoli on a dating app before visiting his home dressed as a police officer. Jason Marshall. He then gagged him, suffocated him with cling film. Big B, what? I mean, this is a guy. I'm going to go to my case here really quick. Can I have the camera back on me for a second? Here is a guy that on his show quite often tries to put off a thing they call martial law, which is similar to the court of urine stench alley.
All right.
So here's a guy passing judgment on people when Choo Choo Stew, as you can clearly see from this shot I have here, this is right off the computer. This is not photoshopped or anything. That is Jason, accused of being a fantasist, of which I've never even heard of a fantasist before. Big B.
Well, it seems like now it's coming into focus more why we don't ever see Jason on camera. He's trying to keep his identity hidden so that when he meets people on these dating apps, they don't know what he looks like.
Or he puts up a fake picture or something.
Which is why he lives out in the woods, so no one knows him, and he just lives there on his own like a hermit until he goes out.
I'm getting that feeling.
Carries out his fantasies.
Jason, do you have anything to say for yourself as Big B investigates the information a little more? Because he will, and let me tell you this before I let you speak, he will.
And do you know why Mama Kate is not here? Because she's probably wrapped in cling film at the moment as we speak.
Probably tied in the back like.
I see that there's additional information to this case.
Sorry, Jason. You'll be up. Don't worry.
Okay,
Jason. Apparently, you there's a lot of explaining to do. It says by the time you used Fasoli's bank cards to pay for a flight to Rome, you had murdered a second man and attempted to kill a third. Jason, how can you possibly defend yourself against these allegations?
Well, as all this started, I do have a segment, or I do have a show I call Martial Law. And this was just a, have you heard of the people in places like Germany who pay thousands of dollars to have people come over and they eat them, which is very disturbing, but people do that. And this is what happened with this guy. He wanted a live edition of Martial Law, and I obliged him for a couple of $1,000s. I flew over there, I dressed as a cop, and I smothered the shit out of the guy. Because I found him guilty.
Did you eat the guy's brains like Hannibal would do?
Well, you're getting ahead of yourself. That's the second guy.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was going to ask. So you seem to have an alibi for the first guy, but on your way to Rome, you murdered a second man and attempted to kill a third. What is your explanation for that?
Well, the second guy was just an asshole.
Okay.
What did you do?
I do have road rage, and
what did you say to the wife? I'm just going out for a beer, and you disappeared for a week, or?
Well, that's the good thing about my wife is she knows all this, and she's terrified of me. So I just come and go as I please these days.
Oh, it's just like Leatherface, for God's sakes.
She sees me put on my police officer's uniform and she pretends she's asleep. She knows what's about to happen. That's
Stu,
how we met.
do you have any concerns of the people of Urine Stench, Ellie?
I'm just thinking at the moment about Jason in his police uniform.
Do you ever know that? You know who the sick one is? It's Stu. He has fantasies about your wife.
That's his mother-in-law, not his wife.
And now he's going to dress up as Constable Karsten and get a rendezvous with the Jason.
We're going to sentence some people to some hard time.
It says here that a human rights campaigner, Peter Tatchell, likened the case to that of gay serial killer Stephen Port, and said he was shocked and surprised by the Independent Police Complaints Commission was not investigated.
Are you a fan of Stephen Price, Jason?
Stephen Port.
Stephen Port. Sorry, I can't get any name to write that.
Not particularly.
You did, but you've already admitted your guilt before the court.
Well, have you heard the phrase "gay for pay"? That's kind of,
what I was thinking is you were just going out there doing bromances.
Well, like I said, the first guy was asking for it.
Yeah.
The second guy, it was just kind of a road rage incident because I was trying to get to the airport. I was afraid I was going to miss my flight. I had somebody to kill in Rome, and I needed to be there at 11 o'clock before his wife gets home. And he was going to blow the whole thing. So, 5 minutes to save me a half an hour. I think that guy's life was worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it also says here that as I'm compiling all the evidence, it says here that former male escort Marshall stalked victims on the gay dating website Badoo.
Now he's a male escort.
This is what the evidence states. Former male escort Marshall stalked victims on the gay dating website Badoo.
Did you ever dance on stage with Chris Farley?
I would have loved that. I'm really interested in the name of the dating app, Badoo. How does that come about?
It's probably from the dark web. See, you're off the www now. You're on the dark web.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been on Badoo. I know all about it, but I have a lot of questions.
Well, this is a disease you have, Big B. But go ahead. You have the right to state your case, I guess, with questions. We don't really know the answers because you did it, but anyway.
How do you spell that? I kind of want to.
Badoo.
That's such a weird name to call something.
Because I know Badoo.
Badoo. Badoo.
Oh,
it's from the dark web.
Yeah, 'cause I've never heard of that. I've heard a lot of dating apps like Tinder and Grindr and all that stuff. Badoo, I've never heard of that.
When you go on Tinder and Grindr, where you live, do you know everyone that's on there? In a small community. Oh yeah. Mrs. Jones is on there again, and there's Mama Kate.
Looking for her seventh kid.
Exactly.
What would you do if you saw someone just for fun? You downloaded a dating app and you saw someone you knew. What would you play with them?
Well, we done it, didn't we?
I don't know.
We found my neighbor on it.
No shit.
That had nothing to do
I
with
missed that episode. What happened with that?
Well, just the thing is, I said to her about it. I said, yeah, I said something when my neighbours were rowing. It's the Irish woman and the Indian next door. They was rowing, and then I said something in the heat of the moment about her being on Tinder, and I said she needed to go and get some, because she's a sort of comes across as very aggressive towards him and stuff. And then, but then I was talking to her about it. She goes, "Yeah, well, I need to get some." You know what I mean? Basically, she said, we've all got our needs.
Wow.
Fair play.
Is the Indian guy rich? well off?
Well,
is he well off?
In Mumbai, he would be rich if he took all his London wealth over there, I suppose.
I'm just wondering if she was in it for the money. Someone in the chat room says Bado is an app on Facebook. It's a dating app on Facebook.
Don't click on it because you'll never get rid of it.
Some of your friends are here tonight, Jason.
Well, there's one final piece of evidence that has been placed before me, and it does have a quote from you, apparently. It said, he admitted he got pleasure from dominating naked men while pretending to be a police officer, although S&M sex was just, and I quote, a well-paid venture.
It does pay well. You would be surprised how much people will pay to get on my hot throbbing pole of man chicken.
You're telling me that handcuffs are extra? It's like, when you go to checkout, there's all these other options.
Handcuffs are free. The whips are extra.
I guarantee one thing: you don't offer insurance.
I got to make sure my kids are nowhere where they can hear this. But I had an ex-girlfriend.
I bet you've had a lot of them. And they're all buried in the garden.
And by ex-girlfriend, you mean ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, no one cares if Stu leaves now. This guy's got just as many stories we can tell.
She was a goth kid, and I never dated anybody like that. So I was really interested in her, and she was always talking about this club she went to in Columbus. Now, I'd heard a lot of stories, and I would see her and her friends get all dolled up to go, and I just never wanted to go. And one week I did, and I get there, and it's like a little underground club, which seemed kind of cool. And I go in, and it seems like a regular bar. But you walk outside, and there's an enclosed patio with another bar, and that's where her and all her friends wanted to go. And when you walk out, there's a sign-up sheet for all the different activities you can sign up for, and everybody tries to get there early to make sure they can get on this list.
Well, because some activities are more popular than others.
Yeah, and you look to your right, and there's a stage where they have a wheel that you can get locked into, and they spin it around and whip you with different things. There's a chair where they'll shock you. There's another one where you can put, it's kind of like the thing where they would behead people. You stick your head and your arms in, and they latch it, and they
or whatever. And people are arriving early to sign up for this.
Yeah, and I guess they ended up being so popular they moved. And this is after we broke up, but they had the thing where they would put hooks in you and suspend you in the air, like in your back and stuff.
What the fuck is this? An issue of Hellraiser? Like, holy.
So what was your chick into?
She was really into getting shocked.
So why didn't you just throw her in the tub one night at your place and put a transistor radio in there?
Just go get a car battery.
Well, you live in fucking Ohio. They sell cattle prods like on the street corner. All you gotta do is get a cattle prod and fucking stab her every other night.
She didn't buy a taser for self-protection. She got it as a sex toy.
Oh my God. How long did this relationship last?
We were together for way longer than we should have been, just because
I probably would have married her. The relationship never would have went south after 7 years.
How many times did you shock her?
A few. There were times where the sex got disturbing. You would just have to sort of back away.
I think Stu's awake now.
Some of the things that would come out of her mouth would just
or go in it. I want you to elaborate.
Stu's not on cam, folks, because he's masturbating right
now. No,
I wanted to elaborate.
Well, I think the most disturbing time was once she always wanted to be choked really bad. And and it was like the most sincere voice I ever heard. She said, "Daddy, please quit it. Daddy, stop." And I was like, holy shit. And that was you know, that was kind of the end of that session.
I have a question. I know Stu wants you to elaborate more, but what was the second one?
What else did she say?
You know what's bad is I told my best friend so many stories about her because it was just unreal. As soon as we broke up, he was trying to get with her, which completely breaks bro code. But apparently she was hot enough, and he heard enough stories. He was willing to not be my friend anymore.
Oh, listen, Stu wants you to do a suggest a friend on Facebook if you still.
That is a good question, though. Are you still in contact with this chick?
I was for a long time, and then we stopped being friends. But I do remember the first time I introduced her to my dad. He's a religious guy, and we were meeting up with him to have dinner after he got out of church. And he's waiting for us at the steakhouse, and I get there before she does. I forget why we drove separate.
Wait a minute. As Big B would say, I have a question. What's the steakhouse in Ohio? Ponderosa?
No, it was at the time it was Lone Star.
Oh, so it was a big something you dress up for.
Yeah, kind of. And she comes with this dog collar with spikes around her neck, and she had her hair up in ponytails with little pink tips, and her shirt is cut off. It's a Marilyn Manson shirt, and it's cut off above her belly button where she has a pentagram tattoo. And I don't think he was
breathing heavy.
I don't think he was expecting that. I think he thought it was just going to be some blonde girl that worked at a gas station, and here comes Jenny. So that was interesting.
Dad allows his blonde girl to work at a fucking gas station. Here we see. Anyway,
I dated a lot of gas station girls.
What is that's all there is in fucking Ohio.
That's where I met her, actually.
You got fucking gas station girls and chicks that work at Subway. That's it. What was your father's reaction? Was he civil during the dinner and then like kind of took you aside afterwards and said, "What the fuck are you doing with this girl?" Or was it a very uncomfortable dinner?
No, he was pretty accepting of it, and he never mentioned any concerns with her. So, which was, that was nice to his credit.
Was it like an episode of What Would You Do on ABC?
I tell you, every time we would go out, we got so many weird looks because I don't dress anything like her. And when we would go out, she would dress like somebody going out as a witch on Halloween or something. There I am in jeans with a plaid shirt.
Thank God you didn't grow up in Massachusetts.
What was the original attraction? Obviously, you didn't know she was a freak in bed, but what was the original attraction that like said, "I want to date this chick"?
Did she have big tits, nice ass? That's what.
Right.
And Stu was hanging on the edge of his seat waiting for the end.
That was a lot of it, yeah. But I always went to this gas station to get my beer, and I was after one other girl, and I think she was jealous of that girl. And one day I was walking to my car, and she came running up with these purple flowers to give me. And I thought that was really kind of weird that some girl went and picked flowers on her break to give to me while I was on my way to the car. And she gave me her number, and a couple of days later I ended up calling her, and that was how it went. When
you last question, we got to move on here, but when you close your eyes at night,
mm-hmm.
and you're with your loving wife, and she doesn't listen to this show, so don't worry about it. You ever see the purple-haired girl? And Stu would like you to elaborate on those dreams. Stu, when's the last time you got it?
What year, Win? 2000.
Sorry, were your hands in the sink or something? That was a long delay.
Stu's got his hands full, if you know what I mean.
Gather yourself together, Stu. You're on air now.
I could tell you so much more if I knew for a fact my wife couldn't hear me talking.
She might be, she's probably.
I don't think she can hear me, but I don't know.
Yeah, you know, if you watch me a lot on camera too, I'm always looking back.
Well, I have a question now. After you broke up with this chick, was there something that you kind of got into that you tried with, you know, the next chick that really didn't go over well at all?
That's a good question.
She did always like to taste herself.
Oh my!
And I thought that was hot. And
I have a question. This is a special 4-hour special today. Listen, when she woke up in the morning, and you know the girls that wear a lot of makeup, it's always smeared. And is that just the way she went out the next day, or?
She didn't really wear a lot of makeup. Even when she went to the club, it was more just in how she dressed, which she was a pretty girl, so she really didn't need it. Occasionally she would put some on, but for the most part it was just putting weird shit in her hair and trying to find the right spiked dog collar and
the pretty girl remark is fine. You're just trying to justify what you did.
Of course. But now I want to get back to what you did.
Stu.
I want to get back to what you kind of got into and didn't go over well with the next chick. Because I want to hear how this happened. All right. So she kind of like, tasting herself and
it's like on the Whisper app, I'm telling you. Okay, back over to Jason Marshall, folks.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things where either they've already done it and they're into it, and you can't teach somebody that when they're in their 20s. They've either have been doing that for a long time, or they are just sickened by the thought.
So I have a question now. Back over to the second girl, and you have to bear with us because all three of us are married with children, and I know you are now too, but I don't know if my stories can top this. The second girl again. Once you did the wild thing, were you disappointed in the second girl?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
I want to hear the second girl's reaction when you tried to get her to taste herself.
Yeah, when you tried to put 2 in the scoop and 1 in the poop, what did she say?
Just very grossed out and just kind of.
Did she run? Did she do the walk of shame from like your farm 3 doors down? Or?
No, it wasn't a deal breaker.
Right down a carriage or something on the way, or.
As far as like the whole relationship, that wasn't a deal breaker, but it was definitely one of the things that was not going to happen and disgusted her very much.
Did you explain to her you were abused, or how did that?
Well, that was.
I'm very curious about this. I live Big B and I live a very bland life. He wakes up in the morning, gets on the train, adds things up, comes back home, wife gives him food, plays with the kids. Once a week we do this show. I'm pretty much same thing. I just took out the garbage, cut the lawn, usual shit. I want to know what the fuck, like, where were the piercings on this girl? Tell us about the third girl. Did the feelings start to wean a little bit?
Well, there was a lot of piercings because that's just how goth kids are.
Go ahead, Stu. I know you want to ask it. It's your turn, Stu.
No, it reminds me of a girlfriend that I had, and I talk quietly, but the old rape fantasy.
Yeah.
And I was a bit too young and naive with this when I was going out with this girl that had it, but she wanted me to burst into the room. I just
really like that,
like a role play thing. I didn't have it in me. I couldn't,
I can't picture Stu bursting into a room.
This is how it starts at my house, Big B. Her hand mistakenly lands somewhere it probably wasn't meant to be. I get aroused and things happen. And I guess that's kind of a rape fantasy, too.
Well, that's what disturbed me so much with the comment that I talked about earlier is she always wanted those kind of things to go on. But when she was a kid, she was abused by her dad and her grandma. So for her to,
I'm cutting the show right now.
That's crazy.
I know,
and grandma,
and that's you sure it wasn't the wolf dressed up as the grandma going, "Hello, my dear, I got cookies."
She had all these scars all over her body where her grandma would put cigarettes out on her.
What was the fucking attraction? That would be a 911 to say, "I'm out of here, bitch."
Holy shit.
Which would explain liking being shocked and things like that, I suppose.
Christ, are you a big fan of girls with daddy issues? Holy shit.
After that,
I know this is a dumb question, but you wouldn't want to take a tub and I'll hold your head underwater for 70 seconds. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's get the rubber ducky.
Well, you never knew what was going to happen next.
Listen, here's where we're at right now. With all the evidence of the news story, which we blatantly had the picture of Jason in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And all that he has shared with us after that, he actually did a good job of dodging the actual case until he started telling us about Goth Girl Mary. What should be the sentence on this guy? Big. No more questions. You have to deliver.
Well, based upon the evidence and based upon everything that has gone on, that the stories that he has just told, I actually find Jason Marshall not guilty due to reasons of insanity.
Which is why he's on the show every week.
That's right. Reasons of insanity. I find him not guilty.
So no punishment whatsoever.
No punishment whatsoever.
So then I ask you guys, and if you need more time to think about this, that's fine. We should, after 4 times, everyone should have a caricature, because at one point we're going to have a Lego kit. I'm working on it right now of urine stench alley. It will rot after 6 weeks. What character shall we place him in the court of the king? Perhaps Stu is the historian on all this. He invented urine stench alley.
So you're saying what character he should be?
I'll tell you right now, because I can't hold it anymore. I'm thinking the executioner.
Well, when you said character, and I was thinking of the caricature, I was going to say he should be the Gimp from. He should be dressed as the Gimp, but the executioner dresses the same way. So I agree that Jason Marshall should dress as the Gimp and be the executioner of Urine Stench Alley. What say you, Stu?
I think he's got a 40-second delay.
Well, he's still got his dick in his hands. He's very excited by this.
He's got one hand hidden. He's got one on his head. Can you hear me now, mate? Okay, he's lost his audio. He's fucking. Thank God, Stu. Now I know why you don't have a show of your own anymore. Hello to Brody in the chat room too, by the way.
Brody.
I don't know. Someone just showed up. Probably one of his ex-boyfriends. So okay, so Stu's now under the desk. We'll leave the Stu cam on as we broadcast. We have the execution. What would his name be? Sir Lancelot of. He needs a title now.
He would be Sir Stunsalot.
I like that. Jason, we hereby, well, we don't condemn you, although I think we're condemning you, as Sir Stuns a Lot.
Okay, I can handle that.
Just for your knowledge, I am the Duke of Urine Stench Alley. DK is the magistrate.
I am the magistrate. I can't remember what Stu is. Well, he's 1,001 characters. The Stu Cam, ladies and gentlemen, can't hear a fucking word we say. We're going to be off the air by the time he gets back on. And he's so intently working. Oh, you can hear me now. What do you have audio?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That was an intense. You were like that guy in the submarine, and what's that movie? And you were like ready to nuke North Korea. You were so intense. Doesn't he look like that dude down in the submarine that's going to push the button?
Stu, are you cold?
It's freezing here. It's really cold.
Is it cold in your house or outside? Because if it's in your house, turn your air conditioner off.
We don't have air conditioning, and it's a washout this month. We had about a month's worth of rain yesterday here. The place was flooded, and it's cold of a night now.
I don't want to talk about depressing shit like that. I've already had enough about sex-starved women who pierce themselves in weird places. And did you ever stick a light bulb in her mouth like Uncle Fester?
I will tell you this. One of the reasons it ended was, and we were together for so long. Obviously, she was wanting more, and I was cool with that initially. But we were talking about wanting to buy the place that I'm at now. And one of the things she wanted to do was in the front room have a very large porn collection. So when people come up, we have a conversation piece.
So wait a minute. You fucked that chick all over that house, electrocuted her, did everything possible, probably soaked her head in mud and worms. Who knows what you did? Tied her to a tree and banged her sideways.
We did have sex in the road once.
Your wife and your kids now live there.
No, that we wanted to get this place. We never did.
No, but she's been at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you redecorate at least? Change the
color? Yeah.
I like.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You were dating this chick for however long you were dating her.
Mm-hmm.
You shoved cattle prods up her ass and fucking beat her with whips and chains and fucking basically choked her almost to death. But the deal breaker was that she wanted a porn collection in the front room.
Well, she also had these things. I forget what they were called.
Dildos?
They're not.
Remember
Garbage Pail Kids?
Oh, what is? And did they watch?
Well, these were like more intense versions. They were like really disgusting, morbid baby dolls that were like rotting and stuff. And she really liked those, and she started collecting them, and she wanted to have those up on shelves too. And that just was something.
In the room? Were they in the room while you were,
they were
inside, putting her toes inside the easy bake oven or whatever the fuck you were doing
at her house? Yeah.
Now, have you ever come clean with your wife about this? This woman partaked at Thanksgiving dinner at your house, and I don't tell me what you had for Thanksgiving dinner when you were with her, please.
I don't think so. Maybe though.
You might need to go have a conversation after this show.
You may need to have a conversation with a therapist after this show.
Jason, every woman you've been out with since then must have just seemed like vanilla.
Yeah. The other thing too is she was such a good girl,
Oh yeah. She was a great girl. Every mama's dream.
She didn't have a choice. You'd whip her if she wasn't.
You're being a bad girl. I'm going to electrocute you again. Oh, I feel so good. I can imagine the girl standing up naked on your coffee table singing Bolio is in this September.
Did she get excited when you went to Home Depot and walked down the extension cord aisle?
She did like to be tied up.
You should have given her the Uncle Fester right up the ass with a light bulb.
You must have been like a nervous wreck when you come home, like to wonder what she's got waiting for you.
Did she set like booby traps and shit like that?
No, I think she actually tried to tone everything down. If anything.
We talked about your dad, and she went completely in character, like she was at a Comic-Con event or something.
Yeah, she couldn't help but to not be herself. That was for sure.
What about in front of her family? Did you ever go to an event in front of her family? Like her grandma was there, or like her, the local priest, whatever.
Yeah. And her grandma was a really nice lady. It wasn't the one that molested her, but I never met that one.
Okay. He wasn't the one that strapped a cucumber to her fucking apron and banged the fuck out of the poor child. We're going to all get arrested. Anyway, all right. I actually have two things I want to get to. We're quickly running out of time. Over to the cam again. Stu and the allotment. We promised we'd tell you about the allotment. Stu is pickling shallots right now. Stu, give us a detailed update on and these are not from the allotment because you showed me a picture. These are coming from a supplier.
They are indeed. Yeah, they're a third party supplier. I can't grow shallots on my plot.
What the fuck is a shallot?
It's like it's a little onion. It's like an onion.
Okay.
It's part of the onion family. They've got a purple tinge to them.
And you pickle them.
Yeah.
Here's the order here, folks. So this is not from the allotment. These are round shallots, and you showed me this is just a small picture, but you ordered what, like 5 cases?
I ordered about 8 kilos of them.
8 kilos of fucking shallots?
Yeah, I've got a little bit too many actually because I've only managed to pickle just over half of them. I've run out of glass jars. So I've put an advert. I've put an advert on the internet for some jars.
Electrocuting people, ladies and gentlemen. Choo Stu is pickling shallots. Like, yeah, I would say that jar at the top of the picture, you've got way too full.
No, but that's with skins on, isn't it? So the time you take the skins off.
I have no idea, Choo Stu. I have never pickled a shallot in my life.
I've never pickled anything in my life.
Man, I've got more pickles, considering a family of 5, and I'm the only one that eats pickles. I've got probably about 30 jars of different things pickled.
Now, here's my question. I'm Big B's rubbing off on me. You have this beautiful allotment, which you show zucchinis, potatoes, tomatoes, everything you can imagine growing at this allotment. But why can you not grow shallots?
Because we've got a disease in the ground apparently, and we can't grow any onions for about 10 years.
So from what, like World War II?
I don't know what it is, but I don't know really. We just didn't grow any. So
last question: where did you safely order the shallots from? Scotland, Wales,
eBay.
Where on eBay though? You must have had a destination.
Well, they're from a farm, an eBay farm.
And where exactly are eBay farms? It could have been right next door to yours.
No, I got them on eBay, but they're from a farm in I don't know where the farm's from. It probably says it on the label, but Bedfordshire or something.
Can you bring up the picture of the bagged shallots?
Yeah.
so I can see
the one with the bag.
Yeah. We got bagged milk and bagged shallots. It's Parish Farms. It doesn't. I can't see where though.
Parish Farms. I can't see. I see vitamin enriched or something underneath. It's a round shallot. Have you guys ever been to the grocery store and found a shallot in North America?
I didn't know what a shallot was.
I never heard of a shallot. And maybe Gordon Ramsay might have said it once or twice.
We pronounce them shallots here.
Why can't they just be pronounced onions?
I've seen them at grocery stores and stuff.
Yeah, they're from Bedfordshire.
Where is Bedfordshire?
It's just up the road.
So you ordered them on eBay. You could have walked there.
That's about an hour away.
Yeah, but wait a minute. And he's allowed to grow onion shallots, excuse me, but not you.
Well,
look at that fucking bag. Jesus.
Wow.
They're going to be handsome. They're going to be lovely.
Now, what do you do with a pickled shallot? What?
Also a big hello to Peg Bundy out in the chat room. I'm catching.
Hi, Peg. Where's Al?
What up? Go curl your hair. All right, one more story. I fucking can't handle this, Stu. Like you grow all this shit, and then all of a sudden, oh no, it's not good enough. I need shallots. I've got 45 other fucking vegetables that I could be doing something with, but I'm choosing I'm going to do shallots.
I think if I was stuck on a desert island and I could have one food, it would definitely be, well, if I could have a few foods, one of them would be a pickled onion or pickled shallots.
What if you could have one food? What would it be?
Probably cheese. Cheddar.
Cheese and shallots. All right. Last story of the night. We're running down. We got to still name the show. I have to tell you, you guys. I have to share you this story if I can get the fucking thing right. There we go. All right. Hang on. I even have a sound effect for this one. This is the best. There was a little loud. Yeah, this is.
You got a sound of fucking Jason Marshall's ex-girlfriend?
It sounds like it, right? We're just getting
that was Jason running away.
I thought that was Jason fucking her with a cattle prod.
Imagine this, though, guys, and this may be Jason Marshall's ex. A bride is left fuming after her groom blows lira. So this is your part of the world again, Stu. $40,000 budget on 50 pigs to walk her up the aisle on her big day. And he put the bridesmaids in pink onesies. You want to know why he did it?
Yep.
Her nickname was Little Piggy. Now, how would this relationship play out? He's Billy. He's 27. He's a fireman, so he's got a good job. She's 23, and she's an executive. So imagine this wedding. You got a fireman and you got a fucking executive, right? And he decides he's going to order his entire $14,000 budget on these pigs. And he put the bridesmaids, and if you've ever been shopping with a bride who wants to get the bridesmaid dress, it's a major deal. It's bigger than the fucking Super Bowl, okay? He puts them in pig onesies. All because her nickname was My Little Piggy.
Like Grease the Piggy?
What?
Like Grease the Piggy?
See, you people don't get these jokes if you haven't been around a while. She was from Nottingham, Stu. She was 23, a developmental executive.
What does that mean, though?
I don't know. It's probably a goth fucking prostitute for all I know.
Wasn't he on some TV show over there, right? This was all for that.
Was it?
Yeah, it was some weird TV show where they were given a certain amount to use towards the wedding, and he thought he would get a twofer as far as publicity goes and be on the TV show and do it to get the Guinness World Record.
Guinness World Record of what?
I had no idea there was a Guinness World Record.
Yeah, that was the other thing, that he was trying to get a Guinness World Record for, I guess it was most pigs at a wedding, and he fucked that up too. So,
well, they obviously weren't at your wedding.
I still hold the record.
Anyway, that's all I want to end. All right, kids, here's what happens. Look, there is one more show, episode 30 of CCR 2K17, and then it's off to a new season. All right, this is when we have to name the show. And I'm going to throw it to Stu tonight because he didn't kind of catch the whole thing. I've got a lot written down tonight. But anyway, go ahead, Stu. You
Well, I've got Jason Marshall and the Lady in Black.
That's not going to win, so I'm not even going to write it down. Anybody out there that wants to
I could change it to the Glendale Car Wash and the Lady in Black, but that probably won't win either.
I know I'm having a hard time too. Okay, over to Big B.
I would say the case of the goth electrocutioner.
Ooh, I like that.
You gotta wait while I write this down, folks. The goth
electrocutioner.
Sorry, Stu. I had to disqualify you right off the bat, but you've been around. Jason.
Shocking shallots.
Oh, that's good too. That has a ring to it. Shocking shallots. Before I check the chat room, here's what I got. My number one favorite is Sir Stuns a Lot. I can't read what that says, so I can't use that one.
I just got in the.
It's free something Glendale Go, but I can't read it. So I can't read it. So I'm going to stick with Sir Stuns a Lot. In the chat room, we have Taser and the Sex Toy 2. Got Hot Pole of Man Chicken. And we got Jenny and the Goth Chick. Or Jenny the Goth Chick, sorry.
I like number 2.
We've got some decisions to make here, boys. Stu disqualified right off the bat. Totally lame.
Don't worry about hurting my feelings, yeah? Just say what you're going to say, yeah?
If you came prepared and you actually listened to what was going on, what was it you said again, just for good time's sake? Because I'm going to buzz it again.
Jason Marshall and the Lady in Black.
No good. Okay. On to the next one. Come on. You've been around 3 seasons almost. Big B says, the case of the goth electrocutioner. Jason says, shocking shallots. I say, Sir Stuns a Lot. And then number 2 got a little bit of a peak of interest was Hot Pole of a Man Chicken. Big B, you need to vote on one of those. We have to come up with something really soon.
Let Stu vote first. I have to contemplate.
Yeah, well, he's going to do something with Jason Marshall was on our show tonight.
I need to contemplate this.
By the way, while we're waiting for Stu to think, how many of those whiskey bottles are you down to now? We haven't asked you in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's actually been slowed because we've been off for a couple of weeks for vacation and whatnot, and we're working on now a couple of different whiskeys. So I think we're.
So you haven't slowed down. You're just opening multiple bottles.
Yeah, we're just opening multiple, so we're not finishing them as quickly. So
Gotcha.
We're at 11, and we have 3 others in process.
Good. Stu looks like he's been running through the abacus on the on his desk there. Stu, we've given you the 4 titles. Which would you choose?
I'm going to go with the man pole one. Hot pole of Man Chicken.
A Hot Pole of Man Chicken gets 1 vote. I'm going to go with Shocking Shallots. I'll go off the grid as well. Over to you, Jason. Chat room vote as well, please.
I got to go with the chat room. I like Hot Pole of Man Chicken.
Oh, that's got 2. That's got 2. Big B, you could throw this into overtime.
I was tossing around mine. I do like my own, but I do find shocking shallots rather funny, so I'm going with shocking shallots.
Yeah. So we have a 2-2 right now. Shocking shallots versus a hot bowl of man chicken. And when we're in such a tie, the second title will definitely get a reference inside the show notes. However, in the chat room, they are unanimously saying number 2. They want the show to be called Hot Bowl of Man Chicken. So, did you guys freeze or are you still there?
No, we're here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Really disappointed this week. 2 weeks in a row, the chat room has won the votes. We're really slipping. I think Big B is about to go on a rant in a second here.
No, I'm looking at it because the chat room is just voting for themselves.
Well, you can vote for your own.
That's true.
We had a lot of good choices this week, though.
Is there any way we could do hot bowl of man chicken, shocking shallots? I'm sure we could fit that.
Yeah, just put one in parentheses or something.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Everyone's happy.
A shocking hot bowl of man chicken.
There you go.
With a side order of shallots.
A shocking shallot bowl of man chicken.
Shocking shallot bowl.
I'll figure something out, folks. Great job, everybody. Thank you for everyone that came to listen and everyone that's listening on download as well. We appreciate it. Before we go, let's make our rounds here. Jason, of course, you have the totally awesome show. We don't have cookies. What's going on?
Well, I had some technical difficulties this week, so I didn't have a Thursday show, but Mama Kate was on Monday. I was hoping to have Benny Mac on today, but hopefully that'll be this Monday. So I think you guys will like that. I know DK loves Benny Mac. He's really fun guy. Yeah, he's amazing. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to crown a dumbass of the year for July.
And how do people listen and find you?
Just look for We Don't Have Cookies. We're in iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and pretty much anywhere you can get podcasts. Or you can go to wedon'thavecookies.com, and I have all the archives there. There's 151 episodes up right now.
That is the best place, is just log them right to the webpage. We don't have cookies.com. Stu obviously doesn't have any shows. Big B.
Yes, every Tuesday you can hear live right here on Cave Crew Radio. I have the Metal Thunder Radio Show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and next week we will be interviewing the band Broken Hope.
Nice. So you're still continuing with the interviews.
Yep. And I'm sure next week our good friend Jason Marshall will be back with us, and yet we will not be on his show.
For the season finale.
If you invite Big B on his show, he'll shave his beard.
It's getting pretty thick there.
We'll do that. That would be fun.
Folks, I am exclusively heard right here on cavecrewradio.com every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern, that is. Next week, apparently I have something big planned. I need to go to work very quickly because I wasn't aware of that. But we will go next week. Then we have a couple of weeks off, but I have an idea. We'll probably have a special in between or something like that. So stay tuned. Join the Facebook group, Cave Crew Radio, Twitter, Cave Crew Radio. Next week, episode 30 ends the season. And Stu, do you got anything going on tomorrow? You going to pickle some more onions or shallots or
tomorrow?
Yeah. Or today, I guess, for you.
Today, no, I'm going to be laying in bed and then going to work later as well. So
okay. All right, kids. We'll catch you next time.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!